Hamilton's population is growing fast. In fact, it is one of the fastest growing places in the country. Currently, the city gains around 57 people a week, some of whom are Aucklanders, who make up about 30% of attendance at open homes, in some cases more. So is Hamilton the new Auckland? Is it indeed the city of the future, which has been banging on about for years? Hamilton Mayor Julie Hardaker joins me now. Julie, good morning.
Good morning, Paul.
You used to call yourself the city of the future, which clearly you never were, and now maybe you are.
Well, looks like that, doesn't it? I think we're kind of fond of the Tron, actually, and we've always pitched ourselves as being there in the future, and it looks like that's where we're going to be.
It does look like it, doesn't it? And it's growing like Topsy.
It is.
Do you worry about that? Because it is, I mean, when you go to Hamilton now, you have to go through suburb after suburb after suburb before you get to the centre.
You do. We've got to fix that. Look, I think it's really great that we're growing. We're never going to be as big as Auckland, of course, but what's really great about it is we're growing with families, and that's the main thing. So
one day will you touch Auckland? Because if you do, Len will just grab the city from you.
I think that's a long way away. Look, the Waikato is a great place to be, and our city is growing fast, but what's growing is young people, and that's really important.
Because it's seen as a place for families, isn't it?
Yeah.
And increasingly it's getting harder and harder for families to survive in Auckland. Yeah,
look, I think we offer a bit of an alternative to Auckland. Houses are much more affordable. We've got a broad range of housing.
Well, okay,
great schools,
brand new
all those
three-bedroom, low maintenance, brand new three-bedroom home. What will it cost me in a suburb very close to Hamilton?
Yeah, so the northern suburbs you're probably going to pay about $450 to $480. Average house price.
And that's on a freehold section, all ready to go.
Yeah, really nice house, brand new, two-car garaging, 4 bedrooms. So totally affordable. You can pretty much buy 2 houses in Hamilton for the price of 1 in Auckland.
Yeah, and the thing about Hamilton is, because a lot of people will say, well, stop in Huntly. It's closer to Auckland, and that's going to happen because Huntly's going to go. It's my pick for an investment.
Look, I think
place.
that can happen, Paul. Huntly's developing too into a great small community.
But the difference is Hamilton's already developed.
It is.
And those suburbs that you've got, they've been pretty well planned because you have got the infrastructure in place.
And look, that's the critical thing for all growing cities in New Zealand. You've got to have the infrastructure, and that's both the hard infrastructure like the roads and the water and all those things, but also, parks, gardens, playgrounds. Those things are really important for families and people where they want to live. And I think that's one of the things that's happening in the northern suburbs is, new housing, great schools, and we've got some new schools being built, and of course a new high school's going in as we speak. And that makes an attractive place to live. And then in proximity to Auckland, for Aucklanders, they can live in Hamilton and then they can commute up.
Now, in Auckland, we have this strategy. I don't know if you operate it, I'm going to ask you, but Len has this, it's a cunning plan. God, it's brilliant. Where you just charge people huge amounts more every year on their rates because we're going to make Auckland the most unaffordable city in the world. We're well on the way. How do you handle rates in Hamilton? What's your philosophy as mayor with regard to rates?
Look, we've set same rates increase every year. So we don't discuss rates, really. We just develop our financial plan around those rates. So we have a 3.8% rates increase every year, and we just lock that in every year. It is expensive to run cities. I think people have got to get their heads around this. And for growing cities, it is infrastructure.
Well, so how do you handle if you lock it in at 3.8%? Because in Auckland you could only dream of a rates increase that low. Right, how do you handle when you've got 57 new people, families arriving every week? How do you handle on that kind of increase the infrastructure you need to build?
Well, that's the challenge. So prioritisation. That's the big thing. But the big challenge for growing councils, and there's a big debate going on about this at the moment, Paul, is about how do you fund infrastructure? I mean, opening up land to enable land to be available for housing, it's got to be infrastructured, and local authorities have got to pay for a portion of that, and that's a really big challenge and a big discussion.
And local authorities have to remember that cities are there for the benefit of the people. The people are not there for the benefit of the city.
But we live in the cities. I live in Hamilton, and I want my community to be a great place to live.
But you know what I mean? So you don't just suck all the lifeblood out of the people to fund the city. The other way should be, it should operate the other way.
You've got to get a balance, I think, but funding infrastructure is a big cost. But also we want to live in communities that have parks, that have swimming pools, that have playgrounds. Yeah. Those things are really important for lifestyle.
Do you worry about the speed of the growth of Hamilton now? Because we're being told by real estate agents that open homes are attended. 30% of the people there are from Auckland. Yeah. Aucklanders are coming in and just snapping up houses one after the other.
Yeah, so, some real estate agents tell me sometimes with open homes it'll only be Aucklanders who are looking. And that's both investors and people who are moving. Look, we don't worry about that. We know that's going to happen. That's just part of being a growing city and our proximity to Auckland. What our challenge is to make sure that we maintain the great lifestyle we've got in Hamilton, which is a great lifestyle.
Well, based on one breakfast with you down there, quite frankly.
But you had a good time, Paul.
I'd rather cut off all my limbs than live in Hamilton.
Don't you say that.
I've always had that funny thing with Hamilton. Hamilton. I've always thought, Hamilton, why?
I think sometimes cities suffer from perception, and you've been good at beating up on Hamilton.
Yeah, and I've always beaten up on Hamilton.
But when you go there and you live in these communities, you realise just how great it is to live in cities that size. About 150 to 250,000 people. Yeah. You have all the amenity of a large city without all the big stuff that makes a challenge.
Here's something that I'll tell you, that Hamilton clearly is a community, and that is very, very important. And I think Auckland has lost its community. Okay. All right, one line. Why should an Aucklander move to now? And you can't talk about house prices or anything. Why should an Aucklander move to Hamilton go?
Well, because it's a great community to live in with all the things a big city's got, but not with the big city hassles.
Okay. 2 best words about Hamilton. Richard O'Brien. I think he's great.
He's
Are you
great.
Proud of him?
Oh, I love Richard O'Brien, and he's a really great guy.
Yeah, he is, isn't he? Is he living there permanently now?
He doesn't live there permanently, but look, he comes into the city quite a bit, and of course we've got a great statue of Riff Raff in the centre of the city. And yeah, he's a great guy.
Do you still have your webcam on Riff Raff?
We have a webcam all around the city. Yep. Brilliant. Lots of different places.
Love it. But there's nothing else worth looking at, is there? But Riff Raff is quite
Come
good.
On, Paul.
No, Julie, thank you so much. It's lovely to see you again, and I look forward to coming down and having another breakfast with you.
We'll look forward to it.
Thank you very much.